Good morning, good evening, and welcome to World of Warships Legends. My name is Robin, and today we will be reviewing and playing the Tier 7 US Navy light cruiser Cleveland. But first of all, thank you very much for tuning in the video. I really appreciate it, and I hope you will enjoy your time here. We are back for more Legends content today. The previous videos all had very good success with you guys, so here is more. And I have to say, Legends is quite the fun alternative currently. The game we are checking out today is quite action-packed, so without further ado, let's review the details of the ship we are about to sail in. Cleveland has the following stats: 36,900 points of health with an armor thickness ranging from 13 to 165 mm, as well as a torpedo damage reduction of 4%. The artillery consists of 12 152 mm rifles in 4 triple turrets. Firing range is 15.3 km with a reload time of 5.3 seconds. The entire defense system is rated 74. The ship can reach a top speed of 34 knots with a turning circle radius of 660 meters and a rudder shift time of 5.8 seconds. Regarding its concealment, Cleveland will be spotted at 9.8 kilometers by sea and 6.4 kilometers by air. Our ship is equipped with the following modifications: aiming system Mod 1, steering gears Mod 1 and concealment system Mod 1. Our commander, Norman Scott, has the following skills: Bunny Down XXL, Igniter, Armed and Ready, Fixated and EOP. As inspirations, we have Gunichi Mikawa's Clandestine and Jersey's Whiskey's Hide and Seek for maximum concealment. But that is enough of these descriptions. We have one hell of a match ahead of us, so kick back, enjoy the show, and let's take the Cleveland to battle. And here we are on the map Estuary, standard battle mode. We got ourselves a northeast spawn, and since this battle mode is not domination, I decide to get a more centralized position with my mind set on defending the flank. Unfortunately, I don't show the matchmaking here for some reason, but the lineups basically consist of mainly cruisers and battleships at tier 6 and 7 with only one destroyer per team. And luckily our destroyer spawned on our side, so we'll hopefully be benefiting from the spotting advantage. As we steam past our first island, we are indeed going to benefit from some spotting. The first enemy targets are already lit. 2 heavy cruisers, Algerie and Baltimore, escorting an enemy Sinop. Peeking out of cover, I am tempted to instantly engage, although I decide to hold my fire until I am closer to some cover. Cleveland is not a well-armored cruiser and is quite vulnerable to all kind of ordnance, and as it stands, we are currently a bit outgunned on this flank, so we need to be cautious. On the other hand, as soon as I cut line of sight with Algerie and Sinop, I happily engage the Baltimore. And as you are about to witness, Cleveland in Legends can be quite ridiculous when it comes to DPM. With skills and modules, you are able to bring down the reload time to less than 5.5 seconds. That's averaging destroyer reload time on a dozen of guns. That can also penetrate 32 mm of armor thanks to a pseudo IFHE skill that we are obviously using. Meaning, this Baltimore here is not about to have a good time, especially since we are now in cover and he is unable to shoot back at us. We still have the arcs to lob our shells over the rocks, and in the span of around 10 salvos, we've already dealt more than 30,000 damage on the heavy cruiser. Let that sink in. Our poor destroyer is in trouble though. He got way too close and is now caught in the Baltimore's radar. I am currently the only one able to shoot him as well, our Hipper having no line of sight from where he is currently, and our battleships simply not being present on that flank. With the intent on finishing off the heavy cruiser and saving our destroyer, I hastily reverse out of my cover to maximize my firepower, and we sink the Baltimore, drawing first blood. Off to a great start indeed, though while we were dealing with Baltimore, the enemy team on this flank seized the occasion to start pushing, with the added fact that our destroyer had to fall back and is not a direct threat to them anymore. Speaking of destroyers, we also got a glimpse of the enemy DD being present on this side, so our job here is far from done. Though, for now, we have an extremely strong position to defend our grounds. And that is Light Cruiser Playstyle 101. Be able to dish out damage without taking any in return, and make use of, more often than not, fantastic BPM. Cleveland, as you may know, fits that role with brio. You do need to practice, as the shells tend to be very floaty at range, but what is the big deal of missing a few salvos when you can launch 11 a minute? While we take some shots on the pushing enemy Sinop, our team has made a very aggressive breakthrough straight down the middle and is already poking the enemy's base. This will force the enemy team to fall back and defend, meaning that as long as we defend this flank right here, we should not have to worry about the west side of the map. Even with IFHE, we are still struggling to make a serious dent in the Sinop's HP, and that battleship being Russian, the fires we are able to set are quickly extinguished by its quick reload damage control party. Although, for each use, he also loses one charge. That's the principle of Russian BB DCP. So here we are, trying to essentially throw enough shit until it sticks, basically. In the meantime, we have also lost the spotting of our destroyer that decided to switch flanks entirely, which, considering, was not a bad idea due to the battleship's population down there being richer. Side effect is that the enemy Sinop is able to conceal back intermittently, all the while flanking our position even more. Though we have plenty of island to remain in cover, and as long as that Russian battleship is still afloat, I will not give up that position. Surprisingly enough, if you look at the minimap, our team has only lost one battleship during that middle rush, and we have no less than 3 ships currently battling it out in the enemy's base. This right here is what I love about Legends. Players are not afraid to push and get their ships right in the middle of the action, more often than not at the detriment of their team, but it makes for much more entertaining games. We do lose our friendly Nagato though a few moments before evening out the kill counter by finally finishing off the Sinop. That Russian battleship took us more than 130 shells to bring down, but we got him in the end. With that done, we only have the Algérie on that flank, and I can trust that our 2 cruisers that kited all the way up north can either deal with her or make her fall back. We do take a few salvos to try and help in that endeavor before turning our attention to the other side. Only one of our cruiser remains in the enemy's cap, and it's only a matter of time before he goes down, considering he is alone versing 3 enemies. Granted, our team is able to destroy their Sinop, evening out the score again. We did lose both of our battleships, and the enemy still has a full HP Nagato, which we will train our guns on instantly while we try and close the distance. Nagato, compared to Sinop, has much softer armor, so we should be able to deal more damage per salvo as long as our aim is true. And here we go, that was a 5000 salvo with a double fire, and there is more of that coming. The IFHE skill does have the same effect as on PC. It applies a 50% fire chance reduction after modifiers, and our current fire chance is actually 9%, but with the number of shells we are able to laze on target, it can easily be offset, and sooner than later Nagato is burning again right after we earned the high caliber medal. We are in cover, although not undetected, due to an enemy cruiser having flanked all the way up north. I have two concerns here. First is my left/south side being counter-pushed by the enemy team. I preemptively activate my sonar but hold on to my radar. Second being, well, Nagato, closing in the distance with my guns, soon unable to clear the island, forcing that whole fight into a close quarter engagement where I would be at great risk. But one of these concerns is dealt with thanks to our destroyer coming in clutch and getting rid of Nagato with a well-placed torpedo salvo. But we have no time to rest. While our New Orleans behind us goes down, we have to switch our attention to the enemy Ochakov that we just caught in our sonar, as well as the enemy Akizuki. Thankfully, Ochakov seems to have both radar or sonar unavailable, so he is unaware of my exact position or my current maneuver to counter his push. And oh, Ochakov, you are about to get a wake-up call. The Russian cruiser poked his nose a bit too far forward, and we are able to quickly dispatch of him with a couple of well-placed salvos, equalizing the kill counter once again and picking up our third frag of the game. Now I can focus my attention to the last known position of Akizuki, radar at the ready. This is now a 4 versus 4, with both teams having their destroyers still. I am currently ignoring the cruiser up north entirely. We do have 3 of our ships able to deal with them. I just need to prevent further push from the south. We have barely lost any HP also during the previous engagements, so I am very happy to start brawling, especially if I have to verse 1 light cruiser and 1 destroyer, the Algerie being completely out of position for now. I know for a fact that if I peek out of cover here, I will be catching Akizuki. What I did not know though was that enemy Ochakov would be the one greeting me on this island corner. Akizuki also opens up on us and we are going to panic for a few seconds here, though we regain our composure, correct our shells selection and outright delete Ochakov with a 7 Citadel salvo. Note that Ochakov did not even use his guns. That's why we cut the engine and turn out. Torpedoes were definitely on the way. And I also have to angle against Akizuki AP as she is starting to land some pretty damaging salvos. But in that fight, we all know who will end up on top. Even if Akizuki proves to be a slippery target, we are still making her pay for her aggressivity. I am a bit concerned about torpedoes as our sonar is still on cooldown, but for now I focus on landing the last few salvos on the Japanese destroyer. The Algerie is going to join in the fight, taking a good chunk out of our HP. We finish off the destroyer, earn our Kraken Unleashed, and we can now angle harder against incoming French AP while steering clear of the torpedoes we were concerned about. Only the French cruiser remain, and she is not doing good HP wise. We have to correct our lead before we can land some hits, but we lose vision of each other as cover gets in the way. More than 3 minutes left on the timer. I know Algerie is a very fast cruiser, much faster than we are. So I rush in forward to try and catch her before she can sail away. Otherwise we may have to chase her all the way to the corners of the map, and after that fiery fight, it's time to wrap things up. Rounding the corner, we get a glimpse of her right before she is able to turn into cover. I take my time with the lead and take my shots. A few hits is all we need, and we are gonna get them, securing our 6th kill of the game and ending this match in a victory. Not even 3,000 short of 200,000 points of damage dealt, a combined 9,000 XP earned and 500,000 credits gained. We achieved Kraken Unleashed, First Blood, Confederate, Devastating Strike and High Caliber out of 364 shells, 14 fires and 10 citadels, sinking 6 ships in the process. A whopping 3,800 base XP, now that's something. Hands down more than doubling the XP of our friendly Kagero. A pretty impressive result, even if most of it came down to an early defense assisted by allied spotting, followed by some pretty lucky rolls. Even then, I hope that this was a good example of how Cleveland can be commanded. Well, people, this episode is coming to an end. Thank you very much for watching all the way through. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, well, thumbs down. But stay tuned anyway. As always, there will be more content to come about World of Warships and World of Warships Legends. Until next time, you have a good one, and you take it easy.